drugs, and crime. There are only two types of Americans, those who live in New York and those who wish they could. Good afternoon. Really great to be back in this community. And I remember when I was here on Prospect Place, we were having some severe rodent problems for years, even in the backyard, where you had either berries or other fruits on our trees or bushes. The rats used to come out at night, and now they're bold enough to come out during the day. And just a rodent problem is a real rodent problem. And bringing on our rat czar was amazing, the work that she has accomplished. Really excited about that. But before we get to the topic at hand, we really want to address the Middle East conflict. As you know, the president announced that there was a military action in Iran, and last night senior staff and I were briefed by the Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence, Rebecca Weiner, about the U.S. military operation there. This morning, we convened our international liaison in Israel, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar to discuss the situation in the Middle East and how it impacts us at home. What takes place on the global stage often is found on our local streets here in New York. And so we must be prepared whenever there's an action. We saw a similar response when the Russia and the Ukraine war took place. Immediately, we had the largest Ukrainian and Russian-speaking population here in the city. We had to move swiftly to make sure it did not spill out into our communities. And that's where we are now. We want to make sure our response here is appropriate. And out of an overabundance of cautions, the police department has increased presence at religious, cultural, and diplomatic sites throughout the 5 boroughs because we want to make sure that we have proper presence in all of these areas. And as always, the safety of every New Yorker remains on top of our agenda, and the conversation we had this morning was extremely insightful to understand what is the proper approach to this conflict. And this is not only professional, it's personal. One of my deputy mayors of Persian descent, and we know how this is impacting this administration and a large Persian and Israeli population in this city. So we will keep New Yorkers updated as we move forward. At this time, there is no one clear, credible threat towards our city, but out of an overabundance of caution, we're going to make sure we have proper preparation and share intelligence with our officials here. And as I indicated, we have NYPD law enforcement personnel that they are assigned in this region, so that's extremely helpful for us to get firsthand information. Also want to touch on the heat update. Yesterday, as we stated, we're facing extreme heat. We want New Yorkers to take the necessary precaution. In 2021, we were dealing with heat issues as well, but we're seeing numbers early and clearly high. The National Weather Service has issued an extreme heat warning for New York City that is in effect from today through Tuesday. And so we know that the numbers are going to reach the high 90s, but it's going to feel as though you're in the 100s. It's important that we know your cooling options. We're telling all New Yorkers as we open our cooling sites, if not, go to a loved one's place or apartment where there's an air conditioner present. Heat is not only uncomfortable, but is the #1 cause of weather-related deaths in our city, particularly for those who are older adults or who are dealing with respiratory issues. So you can visit a mall, library, museum, or other official cooling center. And cooling center options open today. Please take advantage of that and stay updated with our site, nyc.gov/beattheheat, or by calling 311. And when you think about cooling, also don't forget your pets. They are impacted by hot weather as well. So let's move on to the topic at hand. Again, as I acknowledge, really want to thank our Rat Czar, I like to affectionately call her, what she has done around the rodent issue in our city. We've heard it over and over again when I was borough president and even in the beginning time of mayor. That's why we wanted someone that was really going to focus on rodent mitigation. And Kathy has done just that. We saw that fighting for equality and fighting for housing and public safety also included how people felt. And they felt that their city was out of control when they dealt with real rodent issues in their communities. People said we couldn't do it. They said the number of rodents in the city at such a large number, we'll never deal with the rat complaints, we'll never be able to get this under control. But we've heard that before. We don't listen to cynics. We listen to the results, and we refuse to take no for an answer because rats don't run the city. Our residents do, and we focus on the issue. And today, we're embarking on a new era of urban pest management with the creation of first-of-its-kind program to address rat mitigations in street tree beds across the city. You see them, those holes that you see in your tree beds, those are not simply roots that are being grown. That is a place where rats have learned to use as a safe haven, and they have been ignored for years, but we're going to tackle them head on. And property owners and those who live in the community have been clearly tired of seeing these rodent squatters, I like to call them, living in our community and on our streets, having them going through in our garbage, having them use the street as this all-you-can-eat buffet. And so this $877,000 investment would get rats out of 600,000 tree beds across 5 boroughs. And when you add this to cleaning up trash and clearing boroughs, that is 600,000 street tree beds will no longer be a place where rats will live, grow, and continue to just really create a level of panic within our communities. We're going to be using inspections and non-pesticide control methods. We will address nearly 2,300 rat-related complaints that we receive annually and fill a crucial gap in public safety, public space mitigation. And by working directly with New Yorkers and private properties to keep our streets and tree beds clean. This program, we are reclaiming public space, fighting rats, and improving quality of life for all New Yorkers. The investment is all about keeping our city clean and builds on the work we have done to end the dominance of trash and rats on our streets. Our trash revolution didn't only start with rodent mitigation. We ended the practice of trash being left out for a full day and stinking up our streets. More than 1,000 New Yorkers have participated in New York City Rat Pack education and engagement events, something that the Rat Czar put in place. We brought in containerization. People said it was going to take us 5 years, but within 3 years, we have 70% of all trash across the city being placed in containers, and we're going to continue to expand that. And when you look at what happened last month in the village of West Harlem, it has become the first neighborhood in North America to ever have its trash fully containerized with our Empire bins. And so all of these efforts have the rats running, and sightings are down by double digits. In fact, the number of rat sightings reported to 311 has dropped for 6 months straight when you compare to the same time period last year. And our war on rats is working, and it is a full collaboration with all the cities involved, particularly DSNY, Department of Parks, and all of the members of the city are focused on this in a holistic way. So we're striking body. Thank you, job well done, Catherine. Turn it over to you, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Adams. I'm thrilled to stand here today alongside these amazing partners and announce the Street Tree Bed Rat Mitigation Program. Sitting at the intersection of the private and public realms, adjacent to food sources and travel pathways, street tree beds have long been exploited by the Norway rat. Today, as we stand up a dedicated team of New York City parks, pest management, and forestry professionals to take on rat mitigation in street tree beds citywide, thank you, Mayor, that ends. While it remains the property owner's responsibility to keep their properties clean and pest-free, this team will directly address rat activity across New York City more than 600,000 street trees. Working in partnership with city agencies and property owners to ensure surrounding conducive conditions are addressed, this program exemplifies the Adams administration whole-of-government integrated pest management approach to rat mitigation. We are systematically understanding rat burden through a record number of proactive Department of Health inspections, shifting city sanitation rules, and cutting off rats' access to food. We're working collaboratively across city agencies, prioritizing exclusion and non-rodenticide treatments, and educating and empowering New Yorkers to act in their neighborhoods. It's building on this foundational work that we're excited to announce this program and continue to build a less rat-friendly city. Thank you. I'm going to introduce now Mark Abbott. He is with a local group, Scram, Sterling Committee Rat Mitigation. They're a local group who has been doing a really amazing job of combating rats in their neighborhood and a great partnership to the work we're doing. Mark?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Kathleen. Yes, our neighborhood partnered up with District 35 to get a handle on this problem. Getting the new bins and getting the garbage off the street was just phase one. But as a long life New Yorker and someone who's lived in this neighborhood for well over 30 years, my main concern was always the tree beds, because the trees were always being taken care of, but what was going on underneath and what was unseen was a real problem. At night, they would come out and they would cross into people's yards. You were afraid, literally afraid, to walk down the streets at night because you never knew when one of these things would jump out and decide they want to scurry across your feet or bring their babies with them. And trust me, if you've never seen a female rat with her babies following her, it is a frightening sight on top of the ones that are coming out of the hole. I am so happy to see that this is actually happening. And from what I've been told, it's going to be safe, not only for the trees, but we also, as a community, plant in the spring a lot of flowers and to beautify our neighborhoods. So to know that the city is using something that is safe, not only for the people, but for the plants and the trees, is a really, really great thing. And I'm happy that this program is finally rolling out. And thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Kathleen. And Parks Department, thank you for all of the hard work you guys have done. And we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I think it's so important what Mark stated. People, when we move around the city, and I'm sure Kathy would tell you, the level of fear that people have that believe in they need to get indoors before dark because the rodents were running free in their communities. This is real fear. And the goal is to alleviate fear on every level so you can enjoy your community and everything the community has to offer. So we're going to do a presentation. We'll open any questions about rats, and then we're going to break down and talk about if there are any questions around what's happening overseas. But we want to first start with these little pesky rodents. How are you doing? Good.
Why do the rats love the tree beds, the street tree beds, so much? And also, this is great, decline, this and that, but I know I live in Manhattan, I see a ton of rats. I'm not going to call 311 every time I see a rat. So is that really reflective of what's going on?
Yes, and that's a good question. Kathy, we talk about why they love the tree beds, but you have to use indicators to determine the success. Everyone that sees a rat is not going to pick up the phone and call 311. But you use the indicators of how many calls you receive from year to year to see if you're making any progress at all. And when you see a decline in 311 complaints, it is a great indicator for you if you're moving in the right direction. And I know you may still see rodents in the streets, particularly in places where people are not putting their garbage away. Rodents are going to go where they can eat. And if you are not putting your garbage in the can, if you're not making sure that your streets are clean, it is an invitation for rodents, and we're clear on that. All the studies show as long as they have access to food, they are going to continue to go to those neighborhoods. That's why the containerization process is playing a major role in bringing down the complaints. I hear it all the time. When I'm at town hall meetings, they say, we don't know what you have been doing, but we don't see the rats like we used to. So we need to look at your neighborhood. Let's get over there and let Kathy put her team in place to see how do we identify why the road is still there. But I do hear the calls. They think we did something magical, and we didn't. We're cleaning our streets. You want to talk about the tree beds?
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Adams. So street tree beds are earthen surfaces, and that's the preferred habitat of the species of rat we have in New York City. So it's where they prefer to live, nice, rich, healthy soil. The other piece is at the curb space where garbage has sat historically now for decades. Their food source is right next to harborage or living locations. So that's why we've seen it as an area of rat burden, high activity, along with containerization. This team for New York City Parks directly addressing burrows and street tree beds. We're expecting to see a big impact and be a big show to our community partners, our private property owners, that we need partnership. We need private property owners keeping their properties clean and pest free, and as a city, we're doing our part to make sure we're maintaining our spaces as well.
And rats are smart. You know, I had a rat in my backyard that would pop the trap off and eat the food, you know. So they are extremely skillful at surviving. And if you don't modify your approach, they are skillful survivors. That's why they've been around for so long. And so our goal is to outsmart them. Any other things on rats? Yes, how are you? Good.
What tools will this team be using specifically?
I'm sorry, which?
What tools?
Okay.
When can we expect it to be around?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very good question. So what we do is we have carbon monoxide is what we're using, which is a non-toxic chemical to be able to address this. And we have the machine that we have behind us is the one that we'll be able to use on the trees. So we're very excited about being able to utilize this equipment and with the expertise of our exterminators to be able to address it.
Tell them who you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Iris Rodriguez Rosa. I'm the deputy. I was going to say deputy. I'm the commissioner of New York City Parks. Oh, yeah, we expect to see them on the ground immediately. So we have the exterminators, we have their assistants of city parks workers. We actually have a forester who is going to be on the ground looking and inspecting to make sure that the trees are taken care of. You know, to make sure that we have a supervisor and we have a manager. So the team will be on the ground right away.
Okay. All right. We're gonna come back. Who's going? Yes, sir. Tell me how many. You can take a photo. Would it be in the trees here? Okay. Yeah. So, comes around the back up to Rita. So what the RICC does, each of that kind of system, and it has a smoking piece right here that identifies any extra burrows or any tunneling system that would get to the essence where the rats are. So the RX will deliver the carbon monoxide system through the tunnel system and get to a point that they'll get asphyxiated.
So all throughout the entire tunnel system?
Right. So that smoke will reach the tunnel system, reaching the burrows inside where the rats usually procreate. And it's non-invasive. It doesn't affect the soil. There's non-pesticides that will create a secondary kill, maybe a squirrel, anything that's out there, non-rodenticide. So this is a perfect green tool, that I like to call it, that utilizes and creates an IPM standard system for all parks, which is great.
Got it. So tell me,
Work me through.
All right, so right now, Mr. Mayor Adams, we would like to have you get this little nozzle. I want you to inject that nozzle in that little burrow right there. Give it a little wiggle. Where you find so there you go. Going through? Good. Yeah, perfect. So this is that is the second is the covering the egg. Sandbags will cover it, so we'll cover that one. That's another egg removal we'll have smoking about, right? So we'll create that smoke inside the tunnel system so that we can eliminate the rats as humanly possible.
So it is now.
Potentially.
Got it.
But I think it's safe to say that they will not come out, so we're safe from that end.
Right.
And once you have that, I'll start the machine. Are you right? Okay. Some earplugs right there. So we want to basically, the black one has to be clean, the other one has to be red, and just give it a nice pull.
Smoke that's leaving here now.
See how the smoke is traveling?
Got it.
So usually for 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes, let the
That's all?
because the smoke travels, so it will find all the tunnel system that the rat creates.
So that's what he's finding coming out here also.
So as you can tell, the tunnel system is very severe. It's coming in from here, coming in from there. It's going from here. Take the nozzle, inject it in different worlds, and see what other expansion in the tunnel system will create. So now, one, we could take this one out, and we can move it onto this one right here, which could possibly another tunnel system.
So there may be more than one tunnel system?
Absolutely. So the smoke, this is what the smoke does. It pretty much finds the tunnel system, creates that smoke, basically have the smoke find the rat burrows inside the tunnel system and get them involved. Get it on there, it's fine. Give it one more whack. You crank it up just go ahead. There. Go ahead, one more time. There you go. 95% cure rate for the first 7 days. It minimizes during the course of the period, but it's very effective once we do our inspections and we do more assistance with the 30 girls with this treatment. So now with the tree pit initiative, we can identify multiple tree pits and trees throughout the city of New York and treat them effectively.
Can homeowners use this?
Yes, it's there's no license for this.
Got it,
So
okay.
it's a non-pesticide tool. Because if you're using a pesticide tool like carbon dioxide with the dry ice, you need a license for that.
Got it.
So a lot of this tool and effectiveness of this that anybody can buy.
Okay,
so it's great
we
for green
could,
spaces.
so homeowners can buy this. They don't have to wait for us to do it. They could, if they have a,
Yeah.
if they have a rat tree pit, they can purchase one of these and use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, initially this system was built for gophers.
Got it. Got it.
And it
In
was,
California?
yeah, it was. It's part of it's the cousin of the rodent, but it's a great system. It delivers
So we should
spectacular
encourage.
results.
We should encourage homeowners
Yeah,
also.
and some of the work we're doing with some community groups are talking about purchasing these.
Right.
The piece I'll say is it needs to be at least 10 feet from a building foundation.
Okay.
So making sure we're really precise with not right up against the foundation
Right,
of the
right,
building.
right.
But absolutely, this is a device, so it's not regulated in the sense that you don't need an exterminator license to operate it.
So would it make sense for us to find those community groups? Because instead of having us do all the manpower, we find a community group, purchase the machine for them. If they're well-organized community groups, go through your training, know that they have to be 10 feet away and how to use it. We're really empowering people to do their own neighborhood.
Absolutely.
That's a great initiative.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it will create more. It will reach more territories when it comes to the rodent
Right,
population.
right. So let's look at that, particularly when we know we have a real tree pit problem.
Absolutely. And Parks has a stewardship training program so people are aware about what's safe for trees. I think to bring that real whole government approach in and empower our neighbors. That's what we're looking to do.
Very eco-friendly.
Love it.
Very
Good
precise.
stuff, man.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Adams.
Great.
All right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Where am I going?